Emergency updates have just emerged about Pastor Jimmy Swaggart, delivering shocking and devastating news concerning his health. The beloved evangelist, known for his powerful preaching and soulful gospel music, has long been a spiritual beacon to millions around the world. At 90 years old, Pastor Swaggart's sudden health crisis has sent waves of concern throughout the global faith community. Though specific medical details remain private, insiders describe the situation as serious, raising questions about his ability to continue his ministry. As friends, family, and followers rally in prayer, the impact of this news extends beyond one man. It touches the hearts of those who have been inspired by his decades-long devotion to spreading the gospel. This report aims to provide deeper insight into Pastor Swaggart's life, legacy, and the unfolding health emergency. The life and legacy of Pastor Jimmy Swaggart. To truly appreciate the weight of the recent emergency updates regarding Pastor Jimmy Swaggart's health, it's important to first understand the man behind the microphone and the pulpit. Jimmy Lee Swaggart, born on March 15, 1935, in the small, rural town of Faraday, Louisiana, has been a defining figure in American evangelical Christianity for more than half a century. Raised in a deeply religious household where gospel music and preaching were daily staples, Swaggart's early years were steeped in the traditions of Southern Pentecostalism. From a young age, Swaggart was drawn to the ministry, inspired largely by his father, who himself was a preacher. The echoes of old hymns and the rhythm of the organ music filled his childhood home, nurturing not only his faith but also a profound love for gospel music, a passion that would become a hallmark of his ministry. By the time he was a teenager, Swaggart was already preaching, blending his fiery sermons with heartfelt musical performances that stirred the souls of his listeners. Over the ensuing decades, Jimmy Swaggart transformed this humble beginning into a sprawling ministry with a global reach. His radio and television broadcasts became fixtures in countless homes, extending his message far beyond the confines of any single church building. At the height of his influence during the 1980s and early 1990s, Swaggart Ministries was broadcast in over 100 countries, making him a household name for millions seeking spiritual guidance, revival, and healing. The height of influence and controversy. Jimmy Swaggart's ascent to prominence, however, was anything but smooth. While his ministry grew exponentially, his career was marked by dramatic highs and painful lows, which added complexity to his legacy. The defining moment of controversy came in 1988, when Swaggart's ministry was rocked by a scandal that reverberated throughout evangelical circles and the Christian world at large. After being confronted with allegations regarding moral failings, Swaggart publicly confessed to a lapse in judgment involving improper conduct with a prostitute. The confession, broadcast on national television, sent shockwaves through his congregation and the broader evangelical community. This public fall from grace was devastating, both personally for Swaggart and professionally for his ministry. Many expected his career to end abruptly. However, Swaggart's genuine public repentance and deep expressions of remorse gradually helped him regain a significant measure of trust among his followers. Over time, he rebuilt his ministry, focusing on renewal and rededication, while continuing to preach and sing with fervor. His resilience in the face of such adversity revealed the complexity of his character, a man wrestling with human frailty yet committed to his spiritual calling. Despite the scandal, Jimmy Swaggart remained a significant and influential figure within Pentecostal and charismatic Christianity. His soulful music and powerful sermons continued to inspire and uplift many, maintaining his position as a spiritual leader with a loyal, worldwide following. The breaking news: health crisis emerges. Recently, distressing news has emerged about Pastor Jimmy Swaggart's health, described by close sources as shocking and devastating. The seriousness of the situation has stirred concern among his followers, church members, and the evangelical community worldwide. Though exact details remain closely guarded by family and ministry officials, it has been confirmed that Pastor Swaggart has experienced a significant and sudden decline in health. This alarming development has impaired his ability to continue ministering publicly, casting uncertainty on his immediate future in the ministry. The news hit especially hard given Swaggart's advanced age. At 90 years old, his health crisis underscores the fragility that comes with the passage of time, even for those who have been perceived as spiritual giants. The speed of his health deterioration has been particularly startling, leaving many in prayerful anticipation and concern for his well-being. Understanding the medical situation, what could be behind the crisis? Though the ministry has been understandably private about the specifics, medical professionals and observers familiar with elder care and common health challenges in nonagenarians suggest several possibilities behind Pastor Swaggart's condition. At his age, the likelihood of suffering from chronic, progressive conditions is high. Cardiovascular disease, including heart attacks and congestive heart failure, is a common threat to elderly individuals and can lead to sudden health crises. Stroke is another possible explanation, often resulting in rapid deterioration of physical and cognitive functions. Neurological diseases such as Parkinson's disease or various forms of dementia, including Alzheimer's, could also contribute to a decline, especially when paired with other chronic illnesses. Complications from infections like pneumonia or other acute medical issues could further exacerbate his health, making recovery more challenging. Regardless of the exact cause, it is clear that the situation demands immediate, comprehensive medical attention, and the gravity of the news has understandably sent shockwaves through his global base of followers and the wider faith community. The impact on Swaggart Ministries and the faith community. Pastor Swaggart's health crisis transcends the personal realm. It carries profound implications for Swaggart Ministries and millions of believers around the world who have found hope and strength in his teachings. For decades, Swaggart Ministries has been a cornerstone for spiritual nourishment, offering a blend of preaching, music, and outreach programs designed to uplift and evangelize. The possible reduction or suspension of Pastor Swaggart's public engagements and sermons creates a void that will be deeply felt. Congregants and viewers, many of whom have followed his ministry for decades, are rallying in prayer and support, expressing both concern and hope. Their messages flood social media, emails, and the ministry's communication channels, demonstrating the profound connection Swaggart has built with his audience. On a leadership level, the ministry faces critical challenges in navigating this period of uncertainty. Succession planning will become paramount to ensure the mission's continuity, while also honoring Pastor Swaggart's legacy and vision. Decisions regarding who will take on increased responsibilities and how to maintain outreach efforts amid the crisis will be key factors shaping the ministry's future. Personal reflections, the human side of a public figure. Behind the towering presence of Pastor Jimmy Swaggart, the preacher whose voice has echoed in countless homes and whose sermons have moved millions, there is a man whose life is deeply rooted in family, friendship, and human vulnerability. Often, public figures like Swaggart are seen primarily through the lens of their public ministry, their sermons, and the causes they champion. Yet beneath this public persona lies a private world shaped by intimate relationships, personal struggles, and emotional realities. For decades, Pastor Swaggart's unwavering partner has been his wife, Frances Swaggart. Frances has stood steadfastly beside him through the many triumphs and trials that have marked their journey. Together, they have weathered storms that ranged from public scandals to personal health challenges, forging a bond of mutual support that few outside their close circle fully understand. In this moment of crisis, as news emerges about Pastor Swaggart's declining health, Frances faces not only the emotional toll of potentially losing her life partner but also the responsibility of being a pillar of strength for the family and the ministry. Friends, colleagues, and longtime associates of Pastor Swaggart describe him as a man of remarkable resilience and deep faith. Over the decades, he has confronted numerous challenges, both public and private, and each time, his resolve and commitment to prayer have been his refuge. Those who know him personally speak of his humility and dedication, qualities that have guided him through moments of hardship and kept him grounded despite his global recognition. Broader reflections, the challenges of aging for religious leaders. Pastor Swaggart's current health struggles invite a broader and deeply important conversation about the realities of aging among prominent religious leaders. Throughout history, faith communities have been led by dynamic figures whose influence extends far beyond their local congregations. Many pastors, evangelists, and spiritual mentors dedicate their entire lives to ministry, often continuing well into their senior years. This prolonged period of service is fueled by an undeniable sense of divine calling and personal commitment. For leaders like Swaggart, preaching and ministering are not just occupations but lifetimes of vocation and identity. Yet, as age advances, so too do the physical limitations and health challenges that inevitably accompany the passage of time. For faith communities, this reality presents both emotional and practical challenges. On one hand, there is deep gratitude and respect for the years of dedicated service these leaders have provided. On the other, there is the sober necessity of preparing for transitions, succession plans that ensure the continuation of spiritual leadership without compromising the mission or alienating the faithful. How fans and followers can respond. For the millions who have been touched by Pastor Jimmy Swaggart's ministry, the news of his health crisis may come as a heavy blow, stirring feelings of sadness, anxiety, and uncertainty. In these moments, the power of community becomes a vital source of comfort and strength. Followers and church members are encouraged to unite in prayer, offering their collective hopes and petitions for Pastor Swaggart's healing and peace. Prayer vigils, communal worship services, and dedicated moments of reflection can help channel the collective faith and love of his audience during this difficult time. In addition to spiritual support, practical expressions of care, such as sending letters, messages of encouragement, and thoughtful gestures to the ministry, can provide emotional sustenance for the Swaggart family and staff. These acts remind the family that they are not alone, that their community stands with them in both prayer and solidarity. Importantly, staying informed through official channels such as Swaggart Ministries' website and verified social media accounts is crucial. In times of crisis, misinformation and rumors can spread rapidly, causing unnecessary distress. Reliable updates from trusted sources help maintain clarity and calm among supporters. Final thoughts: hope amid uncertainty. While the emergency updates about Pastor Jimmy Swaggart's health are undoubtedly sobering, they also offer a moment to reflect on the enduring power of faith, community, and hope. Religious history is filled with accounts of miraculous recoveries and moments of divine intervention, stories that continue to inspire believers around the world. Many remain hopeful that Pastor Swaggart's deep reservoir of faith, coupled with modern medical care and the prayers of millions, will sustain him through this crisis. His spirit, a blend of determination, humility, and devotion, embodies the very essence of perseverance that has defined his ministry for decades. As the world watches and prays, it is worth remembering that Pastor Jimmy Swaggart's legacy extends far beyond his current health struggles. His powerful voice, his heartfelt music, and his complex human story continue to resonate with millions who have found comfort and guidance in his ministry. This chapter, though challenging, is but one part of a life dedicated to spiritual service and connection, a testament to the profound impact one individual can have when they answer a calling with passion and humility.